What is going on? Stocks are up on a hot CPI data? Where could you potentially have heard that one? We'll talk all about it right here on At the Close. Let's dive on in. There's too much to talk about. So hit the thumbs on up, the subscribe below, and say hello to the best man on Wall Street, my man Joel Elconin, coming on next.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well, let's bring on Joel Elconin here with the call of the year, I'm saying, on this one. Before we get too far away from it, I think the best thing to do is kind of just recover what was said this morning. This was prior to the CPI report being released. Here you guys have it. Just 41 seconds really quick. Let's run through what Joel was saying this morning.
My expectation is that if it does come in hot, then I think they buy the dip. I really do. I just don't think we're going to.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, that's what I think, because they gotta,
That
talk
is
with Blue.
interesting
We'll
perspective.
talk with Blue about tomorrow. If it's super good, they'll have a rally, and I think that. I don't know if it will be like that day in November when Pfizer came out with the vaccine, one of those crazy days or not, but we'll see. All we can do is wait and see, but let's hope it, comes in a little bit lighter than expected.
Boom, baby. Drop that mic. How did you think about that one, Joel, today? Because I'm with the chat. They're like, I can agree why the chat said something like, this market is stupid. Like, I don't even understand what's going on. Joel, explain to us. Why did you think that?
Well, it's just because just would be going through that exercise with the commodity data. And I looked at the commodity data, and you helped me on this one, Mitch. You said, hey, they take that data early in the month, then you're going to have a hot number, right? And we looked at that. We went through that exercise 1,000 times. Yep. So you looked at crude, right? Where it was at. That was right when crude was peaking. And what was the biggest component of of the higher inflation? Was the gas prices. And then I will run through all those commodities again. So that was number one. You definitely you drilled that into my head. So you get the major assist on that. And then the second thing was, we just came into support. Last week's low was 37.44. I don't know how many times I said that, but there was also 2 other daily lows. This was for the 4th of July. And that was just my line in the sand. So, hey, we were at 3,900. We closed a little above 3,900 last Friday, 150-point discount. Obviously, to me, it was a risk reward trade that was palpable. Now it was a little difficult because they didn't get to the pre-market low, and so you had to step up a little bit early. But we're certainly not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. And I think I'd really like to see us close green for the week. And right now, that's not looking like a possibility. We closed on Friday at 39.0175. We're not green for the session yet. So yeah, maybe it was a good call, for today. But as we know what Mr. Market does, it could be a whole nother story tomorrow. As I mentioned, those numbers, the pre-market high was different than the intraday low. So that's always a good tip. And then we got green a few times, but people just couldn't resist selling that close right now at 23.75. So we still have 25 minutes left to close green. Maybe we'll get a double close area. But that was it. It was a little bit of feel, a little bit of technical. And then the last thing that we discussed was things never happen like they're supposed to happen, right? When does logic work in this market? So, they took it down. There was 123 handles, 120 handles from that crazy high. I don't know who bought that. I had my own theories of what happened on that. But the SPY goes three handles or $3 wide. That means the SPOOs go 30 handles wide. And let's say you're normally a 50 or 100 lot trader, you could just mess around with 5 lots, 10 lots, and really move that index. And then when you get the new, because it moved, that move up was before the number came out. Because
Yeah.
anybody that saw that number was not lifting offers. They were hitting bids. So, they catch people up and then they just slammed it down. That was some crazy action. But as I said, we're still right on the session. We got to get green. We got to get, not only do we got to get green for the day, but let's see how we end the week. Crude, big all range, that's up 20 cents, 96.04. Gold, I just can't figure it out. Goes down to 1704.50. Now it's up 650 at 1731.30. Silver trying to close back above 19, up 18 cents at 1914. A little buy the dip in Bitcoin. We have our support up $365 at 19,680. And then Ethereum, that's up more on a percentage basis. That's up $41.50. So that's 4% at 1079. But what let us out this morning, Mitch?
Well, let's talk about that. So today leading, and I pay attention often from the percentage change from the open. And this is why you'll probably hear a lot of people mention, stocks are down today. But in my eyes, stocks are up from the open. And that's what matters more here. Consumer cyclical leading us 2.13 up from the open. If you want to pay attention to areas and industries there, it was a lot to do with specialty retail, auto manufacturing, and footwear and accessories. One thing that we can watch with this is the XLY. You guys are seeing Joel have that up right now. And what are some of the top holdings here? So some of the top holdings are Amazon at 23.3% of the ETF there. Tesla, 17%.
There you
Home
go.
Depot behind that at 8.93. Then shortly following that, you have McDonald's followed by Nike. But I did mention there a couple there that we can take a look at. So specialty retail, what do we have in there? What are some of the highest capitalization names? First one on the list, Amazon. And so that's why we're seeing that lift there, right? And not a bad day.
Let's see where it went to in relation. Look at that. I mean, you have a big component of the index. I know you guys are probably sick of me here talking about the top components and everything. But the reason I do is that these 10 stocks, I combine the Googs together, they make up almost 30% of the index. So if you're going to be fighting the S&Ps, at least have some stocks on your side. Amazon. Now, Amazon did not. This was the low from what I was talking about in the S&Ps. Didn't get anywhere near that low. But the other low, 105.85, you didn't get a shot at that. The low at 106.01. Tesla, man, that's just Tesla. That's just a high beta stock. Caught a bid under the previous day's low. That wasn't quite back. That got nowhere near the area that I was talking about. Haven't looked at Home Depot in a while. Home Depot, boom. Not quite as low. They showed some relative strength, but the S&Ps, they get hit, and stocks are not. I don't know how much Home Depot trades in the pre-market, but Home Depot, now green. Yeah, obviously the high from yesterday is important. And what else did you say in that list?
Nike, which was part of the footwear and accessories that was up about 1.3 in the industry overall.
Did not get down to that century mark, but I will alert our traders here, our Nike traders. You got a big level to keep an eye on, and it's a pair of highs, 105.86 and 105.88. Those are the highs from the last two sessions. You clear that, maybe we make a shot at Monday's high, which was Monday's high 107.09. And you know what else? I guess if it's Joel Lovefest here. What about the setup we talked about in Delta Airlines, right? The mixed report. I said I was looking for the lower 28 handle. Didn't quite get it. Pre-market prep stock of the day, triple topped back at the end of May, beginning of June. This low 28.10, this low 28.14. Where did they get it to today? 28.35. Now, does that mean a triple bottom is going to be in place? No, but there's at least a solid area to lean on there. A nice a rebound off the low for Delta.
Now, just to rewind just a second, tad bit there, Nike did have a catalyst out today. They talked about strategic change with Fanatics and moving into collegiate sports using Fanatic to give them the licensing. Manufacturing isn't set to begin until summer 2024, but Nike and its Jordan brand outfitted 48 of the teams in the most recent NCAA basketball tournament in March. So it's going to give them at least access to some of these collegiate teams to go ahead and make some apparel. So a little bit of a partnership there. I rub your back, you rub my back kind of thing. Doesn't seem too bad there for Fanatic. I would definitely keep watch to see how this affects Nike moving forward. Let's talk.
What else you want? All right.
Let's keep it going. Energy and basic materials were the next two sectors that were leading us up. And the energy, I can't even give you a response to that. Maybe we talk to some oil experts coming on up, maybe on pre-market prep. But basic materials was interesting because silver, coal, and gold led that rally there. And getting a lift, at least in my eyes, I think this took a lift because of a momentary pause in the recent rally that you've seen in the dollar index.
Yep. I agree. I just looked at that. Looking at these stocks, I mean, they didn't quite get to yesterday's low. They showed some look at wow. If you were trading that XOP on the open, boom. Open 112.39, the low 112.39. I mean, it's tough putting orders out there in the open. You got considerable risk as well, but there's also good reward. XLE, boom, boom, boom. That opened, missed yesterday's low by 34 cents. So it gave you a shot. Crude rallied. That's a good thing. S&Ps are just kind of boom, boom, kind of fading here. So, boy, oh boy, I'd like to see us close green today. We'll see what can happen. We still got 16 minutes to go in the session. Real quick for Afrin here, I want to.
Let's do it.
That he just Afrin's a good guy, so I just
definitely. Let's take care of it. For him.
A good gal. I'm not sure, but he looks like a guy.
You never know nowadays.
Yeah, no comment. So let's see here. You did. I'm not sure what gap he's talking about here. Yeah, you had a little gap in this area, but that was filled. You got to 110.79. That was the low from last Tuesday. 109.30 was the area. Nice rebound off the low. I mean, these banks have just been so unloved. I mean, I wouldn't give him much more than that. I mean, and I assume you're looking at it from the bull scenario here. Really, the only thing you can lean on is that 109.30 area. I noticed with Bank of America, 31 didn't hold, but man, they stepped up in that same area again. I gave you those quad of lows back at the end of June and early July. 30, 64, 63, 45, 64. Where do they press it to today? 30, 40. What's that? 5? Was that quintuplet? Quintuplet bottom there? We'll see. We'll see if it can hold that area. Not going to close green on the day, but still recessionary fears hurting the bank stocks. You just can't call it a turn yet. But the only thing you can really call it is a risk reward ratio, and you got earnings coming up, right? I could tell you that would probably. I mean, since I'm the ultra contrarian, which could be good sometimes, bad sometimes. I'd say take a poke going long, banks into the reports. I mean, the way this Bank America trades, it gives you like all this time to buy it, buy it, buy it. 30 and a half, 31. I'll buy it. I'm gonna wait for it to buy it at 30. And then it has some kind of news, and then all of a sudden, gaps up to things at like 34. And you're like, why the hell didn't I buy it when I had to buy it down there? So leaning
Well,
long into the report, we'll see what happens.
all right, just to kind of touch that here, you guys see on the calendar, so you guys see what's coming in. Right
Ooh.
now, we really start getting into the nitty gritty. Today, we'll have, I don't know if you guys like your Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory after the close, but we'll definitely be watching tomorrow before the open. JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley. We got First Republic. You guys can keep watch on a bunch of the names here. It's also leading into Friday where we get even more, and we really start kicking off the earnings. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. It's going to be the thing to talk about tomorrow for sure is the banks coming on in.
What's the Rocky Mountain? What's the symbol on that one?
Oh, you put me on the spot. Is it
I'm
Rocky?
sorry.
I think it's Rocky, but
RCKY.
Rocky, it's RMCF. There you go. At least I have the program to find it. Definitely doesn't trade super thick, but
R what?
RMCF. So
Oh,
Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
yeah, that okay.
So it seems to fit it, right?
Uh-oh, trade by appointment only here. This is a thin one. With this one, you got to be worried about the wow. This is really thin. You got to worry about the input. You got to worry about the input costs here for this one. Wow, 2,000 shares. Get that off my screen.
I've had the chocolate. The chocolate's pretty good. Just don't know too much
Yeah,
about the stock.
look at this Hershey chart. Holy mackerel. Consolidation station. What is going on with the Great American Chocolate Bar? That is a patient seller there. You got to get this thing over 222 and a half. Look at all those tops there. And now you're bunching up on the bottom for you chocolate lovers out there. Look at that. All the lows at like right around 219 to 222 and a half. TradeTheRange.com here, kind of leaning on the lower end of the range. So be careful if you take out that 219. Got a slippery. So I wouldn't worry too much about this low because it was only one daily low at 1794. But interesting chart for Hershey's.
Now let's go to the disaster of the day in Unity Software. Definitely just getting destroyed after their merger announcement agreement with Iron Source, in a deal that is an approximately 4.4 billion, representing a 74% premium. They put out a share buyback program of 2.5 billion, but when you start reducing those revenue guidance like they did here, it can definitely affect the stock. Unity getting
When you
drilled.
have, they're just not thrilled. They're spending money, right? And I don't
Yeah.
even know. I mean, I really, this is my, my weakness. I really don't, these tech stocks and what the hell they do. You just people stuck. They don't like them spending money, probably for a company that loses money. Kind of in the middle of absolutely nowhere. You didn't, I mean, at this point, down 7 sticks. If you want to try along, maybe wait for that sub 30 print again. 2909 and 2930. Those were the lows May 11th and May 12th. This one you took out. Wow, tough day. I can't tell you. Someone's stepping up around 33, but that's it. And Bill mentions money they don't have. I agree.
I'll tell you where they stepped up. You know where they stepped up? In the Twitter saga. They did get a nice
Yeah,
bounce today after that lawsuit coming into place where they're trying to, of course, force Elon Musk to kind of take the company that, he already said he has a binding merger agreement to. So Twitter getting good lift today.
yeah. I mean, this is going to be just a battle, right? Until this is decided, and the court system is going to drag this out for a long time. So, if you bought the dip off the double bottom yesterday, good news for you. Right there, 32.55 and 32.52. That's kind of where near the region of where Musk was trying to pick it up. I mean, this is just going to be news bound. Tomorrow will come out and some expert on CNBC could come out and say, "Oh, I don't think that they have a chance in court of winning this," and then it goes back down. Technically speaking, over the next day or two, I would want to make sure this gets over 37.55. That was your 4-day high right there, Friday's high, 37.55.
Netflix with some news that hit the tape late in the day here. Netflix partnering with Microsoft on the ad-supported subscription plan. This come on the heel of Netflix announcing in April that it was planning on rolling out an ad-supported tier after years of resisting the move. There you guys see it, Netflix and Microsoft.
Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, they got the eyeballs, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I know it's a diminishing, ad market right now, but you got the eyeballs, you got the subs. Why don't you, bring? I think it's a good move for Netflix. Does it make me want to run out and buy the stock hand over fist? Not really. But it's just been sleepy, man. Look how long this thing's just been sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. Got pretty close to the low of the move, 164.28. I guess not that close. Boom. If you're using, got quite a bit through yesterday's low. Man, such a weird chart because it looks like they're close. I guess if you were leaning on the psychological 170 area, 170.30 was your June 30th low. And I believe that might be oh, you know what? We should have been paying attention to this one. 170.30, your June 30th low. 170.20, your June 22nd low. So found support in an area where they did on two other occasions, and you're getting a nice bounce. But the advertising makes sense, I think, for Netflix. Longer term, I mean, maybe put a buy stop at like 200,
Just want to
and
keep in mind here, just I think it's important to note Netflix does have earnings on
they're pretty
Tuesday.
early. Yeah.
And they have already said that they expect to lose 2 million subscribers during the second quarter. So we'll see if that kind of measures up or if it's worse, right? I mean, this would be the second report that we hear from Netflix that they're losing subscribers. And I don't know about you guys. When I lose subscribers, I go crazy. So I can imagine Netflix and losing millions of subscribers. So let's keep going here. Let's take a look at today. I did see continued layoffs. And a name that I don't think Joel likes to talk about too often, but we can talk about it. Layoffs continuing in a Peloton competitor. Tonal, the connected fitness equipment maker, backed by Serena Williams and Amazon Alexa fund, is trimming 35% of its workforce. This course is coming after a bunch of companies in the space have already been doing layoffs, slashing expenses, and readjusting new levels after consumer demand has changed.
What's the symbol on that one?
Tonal, I don't think.
I'm
I think
sorry.
this is the one that's private.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you snuck that Peloton in there on me yesterday, man. We didn't even talk about that on the pre-market show. You snuck that one in there, and then you guys talked
Yeah.
about it for 10 minutes. If I was gonna swear on the show, it'd be right now, but I'm not going to. It'd make Raz happy if I swore.
So
All right.
Amazon essentially it's backed by Amazon, but it isn't owned by Amazon. There, it has raised a pretty significant valuation when it was trying to come out. It had a 1.6 billion valuation on a new funding round. Was trying to come out on an IPO there, and
Okay.
just wasn't able to come out. And now you're seeing it get hit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they probably had their shot, but they missed that
Yeah.
shot.
I see Dan back asking about that U gap. I mean, yeah, I mean, it could fill it someday. I mean, maybe wait for it to stop going down first. But boy, big volume on the down day. It could fill the gap. That's a big old one though, between 34.97, 38.54. You're gonna need an upgrade or someone liking that stock or I don't know. I want to be banking on it right now. If you're gonna try that trade, you got to risk on under the low of the move, and that's down at the in the lower 29 handle.
Let's maybe end off with growth trades and how did those perform
How
today?
did
So
Kathy do? How did Miss
very
Kathy?
in the middle, very in the middle is what I would
Oh,
say.
look at Kathy. They gave you a look at
Hmm.
yesterday's low, right? Right on the
We,
open, 42.64. You open 42.44. Boom, you card it up. Don't even look at it. Hits 42.32. Gets back into the 45 handle. Not an inside day. You're an inside day on the upside by 13 pennies, but you just exceeded on the downside, not by much. So I say good day for Kathy. Good day here, all things considered. And I love when you made the reference that it's a good day. I mean, people are going to look at their stocks and they're going to be down. But if you're looking at things on an open to close basis, I know we talk a lot about the pre-market.
yes.
Um, it's the sessions, the open to close. We go over that with Rob every day. There's a lot of opportunities on the open to close. Not everything is on a close to close basis.
Now, one thing that I am seeing here in ARKK is pointing out what was doing well, what held it up today. It
Okay.
wasn't those software application names that were kind of really bringing it back, like Snow, Roku. Um, you can take a look at like Roblox. Those have been really bringing it back. What held it up today was the biotech
I knew you were going to
exposure.
say that.
It
You think
was
it would be?
DNA. It was Beam. It was
Yeah.
Faith. It was
Yeah.
CRISPR. And so those are the three that are the four that I would point to. DNA is a little bit kind of a lower name, so you don't got to worry about those too much. But Beam, Fate, and CRISPR, especially CRISPR, that has had a lot of backing but hasn't performed. It's doing pretty well on the daily. Take a look at that.
Yeah, it did. It had it wasn't quite a triple top there, but it had three highs in the same area, busted through it. This is called 79.50 and then caught a nice bid there, 82.68. I would just alert any traders, investors in here that you got a very important number to work on. That's 83.59. That was your December high. Where'd you get through today? 82.68. So you want to, I mean, now, you want to try maybe to establish a bid over this area of former resistance. How many times we see something sneak through an area and give it right back? But see if you can build a base here at the seven. I'll stick with it, 79.50 area. Get some lows and maybe take a poke up towards 84.
What did we get towards the close here as we were about to hit the bell?
Chop. They tried a little bit of a rally. I didn't see what the imbalances are. I will say, not super impressed with the close here.
Yeah.
Tapering off after being green. Well off well off the low, well off the pre-market low, but your indications here. Oh, but you know what? I like this kind of price action, because you had a dip. Looks like we went off the board at 03. You had the dip and you had constructive buyers in there. Now, are we going to get this crazy V bottom? No, I don't think so. But people are going to have to look at the lows from yet to today and say, hey, do I need to step up ahead and get in? Or are we going to go back and test those lows? But definitely weakness into the close, Mitch.
I think it's going to depend a lot on how those earnings come in. There's a lot of earnings coming in tomorrow. If the banks just get slacking, well, I think we'll get slack too. So we'll see what happens. Like always, you guys can catch us tomorrow on Pre-Market Prep. We'll be covering all the earnings and taking a look into the market. I'm sure Dennis will be watching and have his eyes open like he always is from around 4 a.m. My man watched the market. That's why he a lot of times points to some trends that a lot of us are missing while we come on in the pre-market. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Give us a thumbs on up. Let us know what we're doing great. Let us know what we need to do improvements on. I myself am going to give myself a little pat on the back. I think we did a little better on the CPI report here, covering it today. But like always, need to make improvements, and I will keep trying to work to do so. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's hit the thumbs on up. Hit the subscribe bell if you haven't done so already. Hit that notified so that you guys can be notified when we go live. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Is it a break the piggy bank bottom? Who knows? We'll find out. I'll see you guys coming on after this. You guys will continue on. There's going to be some webinars. If you guys want to go ahead and check out some of our trading school action, go ahead and do so.